7 unknown Japanese sleeper cars of the 1980s. When you think of Japanese cars from the 1980s, what comes to mind? Boxy commuters or high-revving legends? What if we told you there were machines from that era that looked like boring sedans, but could run with Mustangs and out-handle Camaros? These aren't just obscure cars, they're forgotten performance gems. Today on Muscle Car Masters, we're diving into 7 unknown Japanese sleeper cars that hid serious muscle under mild manners. How many of these have you actually seen, or better yet, driven? Drop a comment, hit like, and don't forget to follow Muscle Car Masters to keep these legends alive. (1987) Mitsubishi Galant Sigma Turbo. In the late 1980s, Mitsubishi wasn't just building cars, they were quietly laying the groundwork for a performance revolution. While American muscle was grappling with catalytic converters and choking smog laws, Mitsubishi engineers in Japan were experimenting with turbocharging in some of the most unlikely platforms. One of the most quietly impressive? The 1987 Mitsubishi Galant Sigma Turbo, a car that looked like a fax machine salesman's daily driver, but packed heat. Under the hood was the G63 B2.0-liter SOHC inline-4, part of the Sirius engine family, and one of Mitsubishi's first mass-market turbocharged power plants. This engine featured an iron block and aluminum head, with multi-point fuel injection and turbocharging via a TC0512A Mitsubishi turbo. It ran at a modest 7.5:1 compression ratio, allowing for stable boost pressure and long-term durability. The result? A very usable 160 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque, respectable for its class, but deceptive in its delivery. Power came on strong in the mid-range, and thanks to the 5-speed manual transmission, drivers could make the most of the turbo spool and gear ratios tuned for smooth highway pull. While not designed as a sports sedan, the Sigma Turbo offered confident handling and excellent roll on acceleration, especially compared to American sedans of the same era. What most people didn't know, Japanese highway police used the Sigma Turbo in unmarked pursuit duty, taking advantage of its quickness and subtle styling. This was Mitsubishi's quiet warning shot before launching the Galant VR4 and later the Lancer Evolution. It didn't shout, it didn't growl, but it could catch you sleeping and leave you stunned in the rear view. And if you thought that was stealthy, wait till you see the next twin-turbo beast. (1984) Toyota Chaser GX71 Twin-Cam Turbo. By the early 1980s, Toyota was knee-deep in building its Mark II family mid-size sedans that emphasized luxury, comfort, and quiet refinement. But someone inside Toyota had other ideas. With street racing culture heating up across Japan and high-speed highway runs on the Wangan becoming the new underground motorsport, the engineers saw an opportunity. Take the bones of a respectable sedan, inject it with twin-turbo power, and see what happens. What they created was the 1984 Toyota Chaser GX71 Twin-Cam Turbo, a car that looked like a Cressida but could run with the big boys. Under its clean, square-edged hood was Toyota's 1G GTE engine, a 2.0-liter DOHC inline-6 mated to twin CT12 turbochargers. Stock output was a surprising 185 horsepower at 6,200 RPM, with torque sitting around 173 pound-feet at 3,800 RPM, strong numbers for a 4-door at the time. The engine ran a 9.0:1 compression ratio and featured sequential twin-turbo operation, delivering power in a smooth, progressive wave. No sudden turbo spike, just relentless pull. Paired with a 5-speed manual transmission and classic rear-wheel drive layout, The GX71 Chaser offered a level of chassis balance and driving engagement that was rare in sedans of the day. Built on the same platform as the Toyota Mark II and Cresta, it shared suspension geometry with sportier cousins, but its stealthy trim and quiet styling made it nearly invisible to the average motorist. And that was the point. In Japan, this was the blue-collar businessman's muscle car, a car that could cruise to work on Monday and hit the expressway at midnight without raising suspicion. The GX71 Chaser didn't bark, it whispered. But if you were listening closely, you could hear the hiss of twin turbos and the soft growl of a sleeper legend. Coming up next, let's just say the badge might say Mazda, but the heart beats like a bruiser. 1985. Mazda Luce 929 Turbo. When most folks in the West hear Mazda, they think RX-7 or Miata light, sporty, two-door fun machines. But back in Japan during the mid-1980s, Mazda had something a little more grown-up in mind. Enter the 1985 Mazda Luce 929 Turbo, a car designed to glide through city traffic with executive grace, but with a secret weapon under the hood that could surprise even the most confident sports car drivers at a stoplight. Under its clean-cut, luxury-laced exterior, the JDM Luce packed a 2.0-liter MAEGI turbocharged inline-4, pushing out 145 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 175 pound-feet of torque at just 2,800 RPM. Mated to a 5-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed auto and sending power to the rear wheels, this unassuming sedan had all the bones of a backroad sleeper. Especially once that turbo started to spool. The engine itself used a draw-through turbocharger setup with a single-barrel carburetor, a rare configuration in the transition era between carburation and fuel injection. With an 8.2-to-1 compression ratio, the Luce Turbo was built for boost and longevity. Curb weight hovered around 2,950 pounds, and while 0 to 60 times weren't record-breaking, the car's mid-range pull made it deadly in highway roll-ons. And here's the kicker. It looked like a retiree's ride. Plush velour seats, chrome trim, soft lines, it was pure 1980s Japanese elegance. But beneath the formality lived a heart that could outpace Celicas, Silvias, and even some Fairlady Zs when driven right. And next, we're stepping into a Nissan that carried the bloodline of Godzilla. Quietly. 1986. Nissan Laurel Medalist Turbo C32. If you blinked, you might mistake it for a Nissan Bluebird, boxy, clean, respectable. But under the sheet metal, the 1986 Nissan Laurel Medalist Turbo C32 was anything but ordinary. This was a gentleman's sedan built with the heart of a street racer, and for those in the know, it was one of the most underestimated performance cars Nissan built in the 1980s. Under the hood sat the legendary RB20DET, a 2.0-liter DOHC turbocharged inline-6 that would later evolve into the beating heart of the R32 Skyline GTST. In the Laurel, it made around 190 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and between 133 and 145 pound-feet of torque, depending on the boost setup and market spec. Power was sent to the rear wheels through a 5-speed manual transmission, offering a perfectly balanced and surprisingly agile driving experience for a car in this size class. The C32 rode on the same basic chassis layout as early Skylines, with a strut front and semi-trailing arm rear suspension, tuned more for comfort, but very capable when pushed. Curb weight was roughly between 2,950 and 3,100 pounds, and while it wasn't a drag strip hero, it absolutely dominated expressways and long-distance sprints, which is why the Japanese Highway Patrol quietly adopted it for high-speed enforcement. But here's the best part. the Laurel never boasted. It didn't wear wings or flares. It cruised in silence, wrapped in velour and chrome, masking its RB-powered snarl until the throttle hit the floor. Most folks saw a commuter, but you, me, and the patrol cops? We saw a Skyline in disguise. And next, 1985 Isuzu Piazza Turbo. The strangest car you'd never expect to dominate a mountain pass. Isuzu isn't a name most muscle car guys keep on their radar, and that's exactly what makes this car so dangerous. The 1985 Isuzu Piazza Turbo, known in the US as the Impulse Turbo, was the kind of machine that made car guys scratch their heads until it dusted them through a canyon road. Penned by Giorgetto Giugiaro, the Piazza looked like something out of a 1982 concept sketch, angular, futuristic, and admittedly odd from certain angles. But the real magic wasn't in how it looked, it was in how it handled. Isuzu called in the suspension wizards at Lotus Engineering, who took the humble rear-wheel drive coupe and dialed it in like a European sports car. The result? One of the best handling Japanese cars of the decade, bar none. Under the hood was a 2.0-liter SOHC turbocharged inline-4, putting out around 150 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque. It used a draw-through turbo system, relatively primitive by today's standards, but still effective when matched with the car's low curb weight, just under 2,800 pounds. A 5-speed manual transmission and RWD layout made it a dream for those who appreciated balance and feedback. And up next, a Toyota that looked like a taxicab, but had AE86 DNA and a drift-ready punch. Unlike many flashy sports coupes of the day, the Piazza wasn't built to show off. It was built to drive, and it did that exceptionally well. The balance between the turbocharged Torque and Lotus-tuned chassis gave it an edge in real-world performance, especially on twisty backroads and tight urban turns. It was raw, responsive, and refreshingly honest. 1983 Toyota Carina GT. At a glance, the 1983 Toyota Carina GT looked like something you'd find outside a Tokyo post office. Plain, squared-off body, 4 doors, and the kind of humble design that whispered, "fleet vehicle." But pop the hood, and it was a very different story. This Carina wasn't just built for commuting, it was built to move. Underneath sat the legendary 4AGE 1.6-liter DOHC inline-4, the same free-revving twin-cam engine that powered the now iconic AE86. With around 130 horsepower at 6,600 RPM and 110 pound-feet of torque, it wasn't a powerhouse, but what it lacked in brute force, it made up for in balance, throttle response, and rev-happy precision. Paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox and pushing power to the rear wheels, the Carina GT became one of the best-handling compact sedans of its era. Weighing in at just under 2,300 pounds, the TA63 had a power-to-weight ratio that made it incredibly fun to toss around. The suspension setup was simple but effective. McPherson struts up front and a 4-link solid axle in the rear. Add in a limited-slip diff optional at the time, and you had a sleeper that could hang in the corners with much more expensive cars. Long before the AE86 became a JDM legend, this was the platform grassroots drifters and amateur rally teams trusted. It was cheap, light, reliable, and extremely tunable. Nobody expected much from the guy pulling up in a Carina. That's what made it dangerous. And now, the #1 car on this list didn't come from a performance division at all, but it was tuned by AMG. (1985) Mitsubishi Galant AMG. Before AMG became synonymous with fire-breathing German luxury sedans, they had a little-known partnership that very few enthusiasts even in Japan talk about today. In 1985, long before Daimler-Benz acquired them, AMG worked directly with Mitsubishi to produce one of the most unexpected sleeper cars of the decade, the Mitsubishi Galant AMG. This wasn't a concept car or a one-off prototype. It was a real, street-legal production model, just an extremely rare one. With only around 500 units produced exclusively for the Japanese domestic market, this four-door sedan looked like any other executive Galant from the era. Clean lines, subtle badging, and no wings, flares, or hood scoops. But under the skin, it was a different beast entirely. At its heart was a hand-tuned version of Mitsubishi's legendary 4G63 2.0-liter DOHC inline-4, modified by AMG to deliver between 170 and 180 horsepower. A serious output in 1985 for a naturally aspirated four-cylinder. This engine featured high-compression pistons, ported intake and exhaust runners, and a specially tuned ECU. It screamed to a redline above 7,000 RPM and delivered power smoothly through a 5-speed manual transmission to the front wheels, unusual for an AMG-touched car. Curb weight came in at just under 2,800 pounds, giving it excellent response and agility. Suspension and damping were retuned for sportier feedback, while still maintaining daily drivability. Inside, it was understated. Bolstered seats, AMG steering wheel, and minimal fuss. So how many of these Japanese sleepers caught you off guard? Did we dig up a model you'd completely forgotten? Or maybe one you used to own and regret selling to this day? The 80s weren't just about turbo Supras and rotary RX-7s. Some of the best-kept secrets came in four-door suits, tuned by rally engineers, Lotus, and even AMG. Which one would you daily, or build into a monster? Tell us in the comments. Let's hear your stories. And if you love discovering cars that history tried to bury, make sure to subscribe to Muscle Car Masters today.